Boom. All right. I apologize, guys. You can't get it right every time. But welcome. Thanks for sticking around while I handled that audio issue right there. My name is Allen Devlin. I'm here with with Atlanta News First at the First Alert desk. It is a pleasure to have you on board for tonight's quick little talk about some of our top stories that we've got going on right here in Atlanta and beyond. Today, I actually want to walk through, I believe, 4 different stories that we're covering right now, and I hope the audio is good for you guys. It should be. It sounds good to me. Hopefully it's good. Web team said it's good as well. So we're going to just get rocking and rolling. Happy Friday. I hope your week's been wonderful. We've had some phenomenal weather as well. That's not going to stick around. So Patrick Pete is going to be talking to us in a little bit about what we can expect this weekend. We've got some ups and some downs. 50% chance your weekend will be rained out. And I'm going to let Patrick do the talking, though. I am not a certified meteorologist, so let me stay in my lane. My lane involves, however, the news of the day, and so we're going to jump right into it. I want to start with this one story coming out of a situation we've been covering for a while. We're going right back to that Atlanta public safety training facility and what's been going on with that. Long story short, you remember a protester was shot and killed at the site of that facility after a night of protest. Their name was Manuel Tehran, and the family has been saying that Tehran wouldn't hurt a fly. We do not have the body cam footage of that shooting, but what we did get today was an independent autopsy by the family. It has just come out, Tehran's family, and the autopsy is saying that they had their hands up at the time those bullets were fired, those fatal shots. This is Tehran here, Manuel Tehran, and these are protesters out there. This is the site of where that shooting took place a couple of weeks ago. So this complicates things a little bit when you've got an independent autopsy saying that his hands were up. The family has long since been saying that he didn't fire at officers, but officers have made it very clear they returned fire. They were shot at first. That is what they are saying. We are still waiting on the official autopsy report from the county. We haven't gotten that yet, but when we do, we're going to be able to piece it together and see if it matches up with what this private autopsy says. In the meantime, we're just going to have to wait. Now, the family is going to be addressing this new recollection, this new revelation on Monday. Atlanta News First will be there at that press conference. We will bring you that updated information when that happens. The next story I want to talk to you guys about, a football star, my apologies, shot and killed last October. You remember the story, we've told you about it. Elijah Dewitt was his name. He was an outstanding football player at Jefferson High School. He was shot and killed outside of a Dave and Buster's in October, late one night. He was on a double date, I believe, if I remember that correctly. And two teenagers have been arrested in connection. What makes this new today is that the family is now suing the Simon Group, which is the owners of that area, saying that they claiming negligence. They're saying that the owner group did not do their job to better protect visitors since the group knew that it was a spot where violence is common. This is Elijah Dewitt right here. Again, shot and killed outside that Dave & Buster's last fall. The family is saying that they believe that the property should be doing more, installing cameras, having security up, whatever it is. They're also saying it's not about the money, it's more about the accountability. They want change. They want to ensure that the violence stops here. These are DeWitt's parents right here, dad on the left, mom on the right. This is a press conference that happened today where they were discussing how they want to move forward. So we're going to have to wait and see exactly what happens. But in the meantime, this is the gentleman right here, Chandler Parsons, who was arrested, and Chandler Richardson, who was arrested and charged in connection to the murder of Elijah Dewitt. And so once that process continues to move through the justice system, we'll have a better idea of what's going on. Keymore Bryan was also arrested and charged in connection to Witt's death. And so that is something we are continuing to follow. That lawsuit is moving forward, however. We're going to try and get a response from the entities involved, the three, basically Simon Property Group involved in that lawsuit. We want a response. We haven't gotten one yet. As soon as we get one, we will be sure to let you know. Third story I want to talk about is an interesting one because if you're born and raised in Atlanta, you know what a Grady baby is, and you probably are a Grady baby, honestly. I am not. I was born and raised in Atlanta, but I was born at Northside Hospital, a little bit north, but we've got a lot of Grady babies running around. Grady Hospital is suing a clothing line that goes by Grady Baby. And maybe you've heard or seen these products. They sit on the belt line and they sell very Atlanta-centric clothing. We Full Atlanta, or Atlanta with the MARTA sign next to it. All things you hear and see all around Atlanta, but their moniker is Grady Baby. The hospital is saying you guys can't use that. You are profiting off of the goodwill we as a hospital have built in the community for the last several decades. But the organization is saying, no, slow down. We got this trademarked legally, and you did not put up a fuss until we started getting traction as a company. So it's back and forth. The lawsuit's moving forward. We spoke to the attorney of the Grady Baby store. Here's what she had to say earlier.
And they want my client to stop using the term Grady Baby on clothing, to change the name of the clothing line, to stop using it because they said that we are, or my client is profiting off of the goodwill that they've established with the hospital.
And so you heard it there. That's kind of a back and forth. Once again, you've got Grady Baby on one end with the hospital, Grady Memorial Hospital, and you got Grady Baby, the shirts and the onesies and all these products that this store is selling. So we'll wait and see where that one goes. That lawsuit is moving forward, and once we get an update, we will be sure to let you know. The last story I want to talk to you guys about is an interesting update to a story that Better Call Harry has been covering for a while. And basically, this woman right here, you're looking at her, Betty Collins, she paid a contractor $4,000 to fix her roof. Long story short, he showed up, looked around for a little bit, got the money, never came back. Never came back until Better Call Harry got involved. That's when the contractor said he had run into some issues and some life problems. His father passed away. His car got in a wreck. And another list of reasons why he either didn't fix the roof or didn't pay Mrs. Collins back. Betty wants her money. $4,000 is a lot of money. And so with Better Call Harry's help, they worked out a payment plan, $500 a month biweekly moving forward to pay back that $4,000. The thing is, it just started up. He made his first payment. It was only $250. But he did pay. So there is some progress being made. He says he will promise to continue paying every 2 weeks until the $4,000 is paid off. Betty Collins just wants her roof fixed. That's all she wants. She's been in that house for about 50 years. All she wants is her roof fixed. And I apologize there. I had up the wrong lower third on that one. So I'm going to take that one down. I apologize. But regardless, like I said, she wants her roof fixed. So hopefully they will continue to work that out and work forward and make some progress. See, Sean Gables gave me this piece of paper earlier, like while I was talking to you guys on the VO, and it's another story she wanted me to include, so I'm going to make sure I include it. Otherwise, she's going to get mad at me. But what we've got is one of her, something she's very passionate about, which is the fact that Atlanta is becoming more and more of a powerhouse in the volleyball game. Her daughter plays volleyball very, very well, and she's only 12. 12, Gables? She's 12 years old, and she's on the way to be a superstar volleyball player for sure. So with that in mind, I can tell you guys a second professional league has just been announced to debut right here in Atlanta. A professional volleyball league, that is. League One Volleyball has announced Atlanta is one of its first franchises for its pro women's league set to launch in 2024. They said it's the first season will include 6 teams in 6 different cities across the country, with Atlanta being one of them. The inaugural season will begin with the preseason at the end of next year in November, and then we'll move on to the main season starting in January and concluding in April of 2025. So we got a little bit of time before we can start seeing the league hit the court, but Atlanta once again proving that it is the center of everything that we talk about. Volleyball is a growing sport, both men's and women's. It continues to become more profitable, more competitive, and I think in the next 10 to 20 years, you're going to be hearing and seeing a lot more things just like this, with national volleyball leagues taken to some of our major cities across the country. And in 10 to 20 years, you'll likely be seeing another Gables on the court as well. So when you see Peyton on the court playing volleyball in 10 years in one of these leagues, remember this conversation right here. I told you first. All right, so we're going to jump right into the weather now. I brought it up earlier. It's going to be a good weekend / bad weekend, depending on which day you've got stuff planned for. Meteorologist Patrick Pete joins me right now with a little look into this weather. Patrick, what's popping?
Unfortunately, we have a dry day and we have a wet day. But in the big scheme of things, 4 of the next 5 days are going to be dry. So we are winning there. Unfortunately, that rainy day coming on Sunday, rain and thunderstorms, some of which could be strong to severe, are going to plague the day. And honestly, it's just going to be a day to be inside anyways, because even if you don't get any of the stronger storms, it's going to be damp and temperatures are going to be cool and chilly. And yeah, you'll want to stay inside. Meanwhile, we are giving you a heads up to those rain chances that are in the forecast as we head towards Sunday. Let's get you through Saturday because it's a pretty solid day here. We're talking about sun and clouds throughout the morning and into the early afternoon. I do expect those clouds to thicken up late day, but I expect the first half of the day to be quite nice. And then we're going to be tracking a low-end rain chance late Saturday night. So I think if you're stepping out around 11 o'clock, do not be surprised if there are a couple of sprinkles out there. The heavier stuff's move in after that. So I would still make plans to be out and about tomorrow. Meanwhile, temperatures are going to be cooler tomorrow morning than it's been in a while. We're talking about upper 30s, low 40s to start off your morning, and we're gradually climbing to the upper 40s through the late morning. Afternoon temperatures are at 55 degrees by lunchtime, and that is going to be pivotal because I don't know what you're doing tomorrow, but I can tell you what the First Alert Weather Team is doing tomorrow. We're going to be walking in the St. Patrick's Parade that's going down in Midtown. Starts at noon. We'll be out there doing the whole walk, so you can come out there and see us, show us some love, and have a good time with everybody else who's going to be celebrating, I think, the longest running event in Atlanta. I think I saw somewhere 1858 is when the parade started. So kudos to that. Meanwhile, temperatures are going to be climbing into the 60s for the second half of the afternoon as those clouds thicken up. We'll be a little bit cooler than we were today, but we will still be nice and pleasant. Unfortunately, we're talking about storm potential as we head into your Sunday. Our primary threats here are going to be damaging wind, heavy rain, and there could be some hail embedded in these thunderstorms, but we cannot rule out rotating thunderstorms. So that risk for a brief tornado is definitely non-zero, and we're going to be looking at the south and westernmost portion of this area that you see highlighted for that greater potential. Here's how we get through Sunday. And keep in mind, we are first alerting you to this, giving you that heads up so that you can plan ahead, maybe do all of your outdoor stuff tomorrow, and then maybe plan cooking that nice dinner. Instead of having game night tomorrow night, maybe you could have a game day as it's going to be damp, cloudy, and look at these temperatures. You got 42 in Blairsville, 56 in LaGrange. And you're going to see that these temperatures are going to be different vastly across our region as we head through Sunday. Showers continue into the lunchtime hour. Now, I don't expect the rain to be continuous all day. So it's going to be cloudy. Rain's going to come. It's going to go. But it's going to come back again because we're talking about the actual main line eventually pushing through as we head into the afternoon. And that's where we get more of those showers into the forecast. 49 in Dawsonville, 64, 68 in Thompson. So we're talking about nearly a 20-degree difference in temperatures across our region. So it's going to be a very interesting day. That final push moves through the area as we head into the late evening hours, and I expect us to be mainly dry as we start off your Monday morning. As far as these rain totals are concerned, it's going to be some aggressive pockets of rain. We're talking about widespread 1 to 2 inches, but I will not be surprised to see some isolated pockets pick up about 2.5 inches, especially where we see a little bit of training of some of these thunderstorms or some of those thunderstorms that will just open up and drop out a lot of rain. Now, in addition to the rain that's coming Sunday, temperatures are going to do a bit of a dance as we head into the middle of next week. We're talking about a couple of mornings where temperatures could drop below freezing and will drop below freezing for a lot of folks. I think here in Atlanta, we're going to hover just above, but everywhere else, essentially, don't be surprised if there's a little bit of frost on the windshield as you're getting out early morning. Temperatures are going to be roughly 10 degrees colder each morning than average as we start off or get towards the middle of the work week, Tuesday into Wednesday. 7-day forecast shows that our best chance for showers and storms in our 7-day is tomorrow, or actually Sunday, where we're tracking those rain and thunderstorms that are going to be on and off all day. We're drying out as we head towards Monday, and then we're talking about chilly numbers for the morning, Tuesday and Wednesday. If you're getting up early, taking the kids to school, just be prepared to pull out that thicker jacket. And then we'll see those numbers rebound each afternoon into the 50s. Finally, the upper 60s return to the forecast by Thursday, but we're watching another system that's going to be bringing rain chances next Friday. And of course, you know, we have a team of 7 meteorologists here. We don't just stop at the 7-day. We show you the 7, but we're looking beyond the 7, and we're looking ahead to next weekend. And I can go ahead and give you a heads up that if you were planning on going down to Savannah, have a plan B. there's a lot of rain that's going to be moving in Friday night, and it looks like we're going to see most of Saturday be damp. That could fluctuate a little bit. That is 8 days away, but what we're seeing right now, yeah, I'm making a plan B, and you should too. So I'm going to leave you with this 7-day forecast so that you can, of course, make plans to be out and about all day tomorrow, because it's going to be wet, damp, thundery, a little stormy in some places on Sunday. We have another newscast that's coming up in about 35, 40 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure that I look at the latest data before we go on so that we can have the freshest information for you tonight at 9, 10, and then, of course, at 11. Y'all have a good night.